Hello, Star Wars Galaxy of Hero players. This is Anitesh Ordo. Today, I'm going to be covering the Sith and a couple of Separatists / Night Sisters / yeah. But a lot of the Sith characters that could get like light touch-ups and reworks throughout 2020 and 2021. Just my thoughts on how they could become better, what they already are. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the Triumphant Trai. So Trai is definitely a unique character for sure. She is part of a raid. You unlock her through a raid, which is awesome. I like my Trai. I know I still need to remod her a bit. I did speed tenacity with a crit avoidance and stuff. So honestly, like her leadership, the first thing I want to mention is her leadership, crit avoidance and potency. I feel like there's a few other stats they can add to that, either being, let's see, like health steal, tenacity, or not health steal, but max health, tenacity, maybe even max protection could be an option. Throw a third stat in there. It's time to update Trai a little better. I do like whenever a debuffed enemy deals damage, all Sith allies when a debuffed enemy takes damage, all Sith allies recover 10% health. Maybe they could go up to 15% health. A little bit more healing. And then when an enemy uses an ability outside their turn, they take damage equal to 35% of the max health. That's cool. That's what gives Trai the dominance over bug teams, because they have mass assists like no tomorrow. They one attack, the rest of them assist. Every time. That's just how they are. They act like a swarm. And so Trai does hate against that type of thing. So that's like one of the easiest counters. Super hard counter. Easy to just counter it and be done, as long as you be careful not to underman it. If they have a super high relic spy, you got to be careful with that. But honestly, I feel like, again, just adding a little bit more stats, maybe increase the health recovery. They lose 50% offense stacking, maybe? I don't know. She doesn't counter Jedi Revan very well, even though Jedi Revan teams spread buffs like crazy. But that's because, now if Trai was brought in after Jedi Revan, it would have done something different. But, again, just add that. Honestly, another thing I would like to see is what's given to the raid bosses. If you attack a raid boss, you get crit damage and health still up for a turn. I would like to see that added into the regular isolate as well. And I think one of the last things, a couple of things that she could be immune to. One, she could be immune to blind. I feel like the whole Triumvirate could be immune to blind. I know it's like an tiered debuff, but if they ever add more characters that give this debuff, yeah, that'd be kind of nice. And have her immune to fear. Have the whole Triumvirate immune to fear would be kind of nice. Scion, I feel like he needs some self-potency. Or an extra little bit of potency, unless you super mod him for potency, but you do want to mod him for health, protection, defense, tenacity, so he can not be inflicted with debuffs. But still, having him have some more potency in his kit wouldn't be too bad, especially if you do run him under Trai, which is the best potency lead for Sith against the dark side GOTB. It's so annoying that the enemies just have so much high tenacity. Their tenacity is 200 to 300 plus. So just a regular, maybe a 40%, Scion has 40% max, or 40% potency, and maybe even tenacity wouldn't hurt. Just add those two, because he is kind of tenacious. He keeps getting up. So adding tenacity doesn't hurt to his kit. Another thing, held by hatred, instead of the 100% turn meter, because Darth Malik stops it, even though I'll talk about a way to fix that in a bit, give him a bonus turn after. Also, I think there is a bug in the game currently at the time of the recording, June 21st. I know there's been some other things happening in SWGOH, but I'm just trying to get these out, and I'll be covering other important topics in another video. But at this time, there are some times where you kill Scion without, like, there's no character that has an ability that prevents reviving. It's just like, say, like a Stormtrooper killed him, for example. He has Held by Hatred. If he loses that, or he dies and doesn't revive, and you even see this in, unless it's permanently set up in the, what's it called? The places of power where you fight the Jedi with Sith or First Order. You know, last tier, if he dies, he doesn't come. I don't know if that's a bug or not, but they need to fix that. But still, going back to it though, giving him 100%, instead of 100% turn meter, just give him a bonus turn after this one would be nice. He heals, he recovers, he dispels, and then this ability starts on cooldown. So yeah, that would be kind of nice to see. So that's Scion for you. Again, immune to blind and fear. I feel like these three characters deserve that. It's time to boost them up a little bit. Nilus, it's really the biggest thing of Nilus is his leadership. There is so much you could do with it. Like, I've even thought, why not do a whole, even though this would actually counter gas teams like instantly, it would instantly counter them because it would shut his protection off. If you did like all units lose protection, gain that much health, yeah, that would just shut down Jedi Knight. Gas would be sitting down right at the start. He'd probably sit down. So I wouldn't say do that specifically. But there's a lot of things you could do. Yeah, you could boost offense maybe to 75. Boost the health still, maybe even up to 200%. But, you know, do something more to give Sith allies more survivability with this leadership. It doesn't have to be meta-breaking, but it could counter certain teams. Like, it would counter Rex-led teams. Like before, some people were trying to use it against Rex and Darth Maul teams when those two were in the meta, like 4 years ago or so, 3 to 4 years ago, whenever that was. Just give it some more viability. It deserves to be more viable. Annihilate, I wouldn't mind seeing him have a little bit of, like, recover like 25% of that opponent's max health. As you gain that max health, you get 25% recovery on it. Would be nice. Aside from that, there's not much. He does really well. He's like an awesome character to still have and utilize. Next is Malik. Malik, I feel like the only thing to really, other than maybe potentially a leadership, because this is the one thing I was disappointed with Malik, is he didn't have a leadership. Why did he not have a leadership? It was weird. But give him a leadership, maybe a minor Sith Empire lead. Wouldn't hurt. Maybe like something like a kind of like the level of a boss lead, or a crew leads. You know, they recover health and protection kind of stuff. But because he only has 5 abilities. I think Jedi Knight doesn't Gas have like 6? Holy cow! I think Gas has 6. Yeah, he has 6. So for an epic confrontation character, that's kind of disappointing in regards to that. Gas has 6 where he has 5. So give him a leader. Malik could deserve a leader. But the real thing I want to talk about Malik here is the turn meter. The Sith enemies can't gain bonus turn meter. It should be like Sith enemies can't gain bonus turn meter from Sith leadership abilities. So it prevents the turn meter from Palpatine and Darth Maul. That's it. That's the only 2 Sith that would impact the leaderships. But they get their own turn meter. Like Scion would have his own turn meter, even though I would still say change it to a bonus turn instead. Darth Nihilus will get his turn meter if you inflict Trai and Scion with debuffs. So, you know, just give him that kind of update, and he'll still work fine. Also, oops, I didn't mean to click her out. Sith Assassin could get a better, be more viable. And speaking of Sith Assassin, I would say just give her a unique. Maybe she start starts the encounter under stealth for a turn. Give her maybe maybe 15 speed, 15% max health, 15% offense, something small. She doesn't need to be that broken to be updated. Just give her a light unique, just to give her a little more viability. Outside of that, it'd just be an Omega ability. It doesn't even need to be Zeta worthy, but still give her that setup, and then lo and behold, there she goes. She's a better Sith for Maul and Savage teams, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people would use those for that, unless they actually allow the use for Darth Revan. Use her under Darth Revan. So next, speaking of Darth Maul and Savage, Maul, he needs a lot. I know there is a Reddit post of someone suggesting that he actually starts in his unique under with Fear. This guy did a lot of reworks on a bunch of different characters, but I like that. He, outside of his leadership, he should start under stealth, not fear, stealth. He also had a chance at granting fear. It was a weird wording on how to do it, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised they do that. Like, maybe he kills someone, gets a bonus turn instead of getting 100% turn meter, a bonus turn. Maybe 100% turn meter is fine. It doesn't need to be that broken, but take a bonus turn. And then, lo and behold, you got yourself, maybe the next target gains fear or something. I don't know. But his leadership just needs a bit more oomph to it. The evasion is nice, but give maybe up the evasion to 30%. Give him some accuracy. It never hurts to do that. I think accuracy is kind of a weaker ability, because there's still the chance of missing anyways. But 30% evasion, accuracy. Maybe maybe not crit avoidance, but defense and max health, or maybe offense. Accuracy could be the fourth ability. Usually I say 3 abilities, but just give it a fourth ability. It doesn't need to be that much. And then add stealth for 2 turns at the start of each encounter, kind of like Aura Singh does. It would be kind of nice to see that it starts with 2 turns, and the stealth dispels at the end. At the end of the opponent's or the ally's turn instead of the beginning. And then I feel like the first enemy, second, third, fourth, and fifth should go up to 5th, and then have different things like evasion, accuracy, crit chance, tenacity, potency. Little bits. Small adds like 50. Tier 1's 15%, then 20%, then 25%, then 30%, then maybe 35% of something, just to give it a little more oomph to Darth Maul. Other than that, I don't see much more. Maybe he could have another special ability. He is more of an iconic character, so that would be kind of nice. Savage Opress. He definitely first off, his overpower does massive damage. It's nice. I feel like if it's under 50% health, it should just be an instant defeat instead of massive damage, which can be evaded. And they can't be revived. I feel like that would be a big thing. Maybe he has a little bit of extra health recovery on that. His leadership, I feel like, should be 80% defense, 50 tenacity, 50 crit, not crit avoidance, 50, or just, leaving it that way, and then have other allies gain half this bonus. I like these catch-all leaderships, but still, adding a third stat wouldn't be too bad. Maybe max health wouldn't hurt. I'm not saying it's going to be a broken ability. And then his unique isn't bad either. Give him just some more survivability a little bit, because he is one of those. He seems like, unless you really mod him right, he seems like a weaker attacker, but just thriving on doing the massive damage. Count Dooku, he's a great rework. I love his rework. That's why I have him Relic 2. I will eventually be, in the next few weeks or so, over the next few weeks, I'll be getting him to Relic 4. I just have other characters in line, like Palpatine. I just barely relicked. Master Makashi, I would say that Repose should give some health steal as well. Maybe 50% health steal, tax at a turn, can't ignore protection, can't be copied, and can't be dispelled. Lock this ability. I feel like this buff should be a locked buff. just how unique it is. It's not going to be on a lot of characters I don't see. So just lock it. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just going to make him a little better so he's not dispelled. And his leadership, I feel like, should go up to 40% counter chance and maybe 40% health steal. But aside from that, this is kind of a cool kit, a cool leadership, especially with the opponents inflicting debuffs on themselves, which is nice. Sidious is like one of the most requested ones to need a rework, like literally. Maybe do some more damage with his AoE. His leadership could like have 2% offense and put on and defense. Maybe it goes up to 3% offense and defense till the end of the encounter whenever they score a critical hit, so they have stacking damage under Darth Sidious. So maybe Darth Sidious could get to the point where he's kind of a mini solo, not on a level of Nest or Gas or the Galactic Legends or Malik, but like, you know, it's like Wampa Nest like level. Like he'll be able to like solo Ewoks, for example. I don't know, but the critical chance goes up to 30%. The critical damage, maybe another stat like critical avoidance, it wouldn't hurt. And then give something more to his unique. His unique just needs a little bit more. Evasion, defense, like 40% evasion, defense, and tenacity against Jedi attacks. Because he's a strong character at this point. Like he even, you know, he fought Maul and Savage together. So honestly, it would be nice to see some more use out of Darth Sidious. And then finally, Ventress as a separatist. The only thing I could see being updated is at least give her a third stat boost. So 30 speed, 30 offense, maybe 30 defense. Something small. It doesn't need to be like broken. And it wouldn't hurt to have the 30 defense. It would just make her leadership a little better. Of course, they'd also have to give Mother Talzin lead a third stat too under Night Sisters. But having Ventress giving that setup, but also give just those 3 stats to separatists as well, so that if you're actually going against the gas event, you're actually able to, you know, her leadership boosts the other droids as well, giving them offense, speed, and defense. That's not going to be bad. That's not going to be a bad thing at all. They're going to take less damage, especially from gas. How broken he is, even though he's not as broken as Galactic Legends now. But still, just give that, you know, just to add stat boost, and then say Night Sister and Separatist allies have 30 speed, offense, defense, done. And then Night Sister allies gain 50% turn meter when they fall below. Or maybe this part could also be part of the Separatists. And then maybe have only the Night Sisters remove 20% turn meter. So it just boosts your leadership, but not making it broken to where now you run Grievous and droids and Geos under her and it makes them super broken. So, you know, that's just my thoughts on that. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you agree with these changes? Do you disagree? Please let me know in the comments. And thank you for watching. You guys have a phenomenal day.